everyone, it's Julie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a really fun video. I've been seeing this video all over the internet. It's called Assumptions About Me. If you follow me on Instagram, at JuliaMarie_Rob, I asked you guys to send me assumptions that you might have about me. And you did. Some of them are kind of crazy. And I'm going to let you know right now if they are true or not. Okay, honestly, the first one is so funny. I don't know why I think it's so funny, but someone said you got really good grades in high school. I just think that's funny because it's like, I can totally see why you would think that, but I actually didn't. I would say at the end of the day, when I graduated high school, I wound up with just decent grades. I think I got like a 3.8 with weighted classes. So that's great, that's a fine GPA, but I would say on the whole, I was not very good at school. I actually had dyslexia, and when I was in first grade, my teachers told my mom that I wouldn't do well in public school. So from second grade to 8th grade, I was in private school, and I went to these really small schools where with lots of other kids that like didn't know how to read, and I was really insecure all through school because it's really hard for me. It's not a natural thing. I got a ton of C's in high school. I always had a tutor, especially in math and science. And I barely got into Auburn. Auburn's not a hard school to get into, but I got deferred when I first applied, and I didn't get in right away. So this next one I got about like 10 times. Everyone said something along the lines of like, you're really joyful, you're happy all the time, you smile all the time. Like a lot of people said this, or like you're optimistic all the time. I would say like yes and no. I am pretty optimistic, I am pretty fun, I am pretty nice and happy, but I'm not like that overly smiley, overly happy person. I wouldn't say like I'm known for being happy all the time. You know what I'm talking about? How like there's those people, they're like, oh, so-and-so, like they're just always smiling. I wouldn't say anyone would say that about me. I even asked some of my coworkers, I was like, would you describe me as like a smiley person? And they were like, no, not really. I mean, they're like, you're happy, but I wouldn't say you're like excessively more happy than the next person. So I am averagely happy. So on that same note, someone also said that I never seem to be stressed out. I'm always stress-free. And I told one of my coworkers this, and she started laughing. She was like, no, that's not you. I get stressed out a lot. I cry all the time. Especially at work. My job is actually really stressful, and I get really frustrated sometimes, and there's too much work and it's kind of stressful. I definitely get stressed out, and when I stress out, I cry. It's how I deal with it. I just start crying. So, no, I'm not a stress-free person. Okay, this next one says that you really enjoy change. I really like this one because I think it's such an astute observation. Like if this person really didn't ever hear me say this, because I don't know if I've ever said this before, they're just so intelligent and observant. I do really like change. I like thrive in it. I've always thought it was really exciting. When I was on the world race, I used to hope that we would get a route change just for like the excitement of it all. Like, oh wow, we're gonna go to a country that we never expected to go to. So I do love change. As I'm getting older now, I'm like valuing more stability and security because I'm just like getting old and tired. But for the most part, most of my life, I've just thrived in it. I love it. This next one made me so happy. Someone said you are a minimalist. This is true. Thank you for noticing. I feel so proud that you noticed that. Yes, I like to keep things simple. I like to own as few things as possible. I clean out my house like top to bottom probably every like 3 to 6 months. I love getting rid of things. I love like literally like I will try and own as few clothes as possible, as few dishes as possible, as few decorations as possible. Even the way I dress is like very simple. I like less things. I've been really getting into watching Marie Kondo. She's a woman after my own heart. I like that woman. I love the message she's spreading around the world. This next one is also really funny. Someone said you are an Enneagram 4. I'm actually not an Enneagram 4. If you don't know what the Enneagram is, I'll link it down below. It's a personality test with 9 different personality traits. And basically it's like the thing you're the best at, but it also is your downfall. So whatever you're really good at also like can be an unhealthy thing for you. So 4 is nicknamed the Individualist. So they're really creative, they're really unique, but they tend to find their identity in like being different and they don't want to be like anybody else. And this is like an oversimplification of it all, of course. So I'm actually a 3. If you know me at all, you're like, obviously, duh. So the 3 is nicknamed the Achiever. That means I'm very good at getting things done and achieving things in life, but I can tend to find my identity or my happiness rooted too deeply in performance or like being the best or achieving things. This next one is a little juicy. Someone said you make a lot of money because you travel so much. I would say actually no, but let me unpack that a little bit. I would say like from a global perspective, looking at the whole world, I'm incredibly wealthy, make lots of money, have everything I could ever need. But from like an American perspective, for someone who is my age, I would say I probably make less money than the average person in their late 20s. I spent a lot of the time in the past volunteering, and I did AmeriCorps and the whole race, and now I work for a nonprofit. I've worked for mostly nonprofits, so I don't make a ton of money, but I definitely make enough, and I'm pretty smart with it. And I don't have any debt or huge payments. I just have like your standard monthly payments. I don't have like loans or anything that I have to pay off, so that's really nice. When it comes to travel, I travel really smart. I try and do credit card points and deals and travel cheap. Also, it's just a priority to me, so I'm willing to spend money in that area of my life over other areas. So I hope that answers it. This next one says I'm an extrovert. Actually, no, I'm not an extrovert. I get that a lot. Most people think that I am. I'm just really outgoing and confident in myself. But no, I get all of my energy from being alone. If I'm around people too long, I get extremely exhausted. I was in a wedding the other day, and I literally just like around cocktail hour, cocktail was like 2 hours, and I just started losing my mind. I was like, I can't talk to people anymore. I can't do it. I can't. And it was only like 2 hours. Like, so I'm definitely not extroverted. I like really need to be alone. I like to eat dinner alone. Sometimes during lunch, I will just sit at my desk alone because it's like more restful to me than going down to socialize for lunchtime. You're very confident. Yes, I would agree. This one is true. I am very confident. I'm not confident all the time. One area where I'd say I'm not very confident is, this is very specific, but spontaneously giving my opinion in like larger groups. I seem to not be able to do that. If the group gets beyond like 4 or 5 and the people aren't like my close friends, I probably won't say anything. It's very annoying. You would rather host than be hosted. This is very sweet. I would agree with this. I had to think about it, but I think you're right. I love hosting. I love hospitality. I love cooking and decorating and creating a safe place for people. I love people feeling included. I'm such an includer. I love people feeling welcome. I love that. So yeah, I definitely love hosting. I mean, I love being hosted too. If you want to invite me over, like I'll totally come. But I love hosting. Like if someone asks me to hang out, I'm like, sure, come to my house. This next one is another personality assumption. This person says you are an ENFJ. That, if you don't know, that's a Myers-Briggs personality type. It stands for extrovert, intuitive, feeler, and judger. And I'm actually not an ENFJ, I'm an INFP. So a little bit off, but I am an N and an F, so you're right about that. You are a great role model for my teen daughter. Oh. That is so sweet. That's not an assumption, but thanks. That's so sweet. I really do want to be a role model, and I really do care about younger girls specifically, and so that means a lot to me. I appreciate it. You are living a life with little regrets. I would say yes for the most part. I've definitely done a lot of things in my life that I regret. Oh my goodness, so many things. Especially most of the things I did in college. Like, wow. I really do believe that our shame was like paid for at the cross, and like I love Jesus, and I really do think that he takes away our shame and we don't have to walk around with regrets. And so I don't really walk around with the identity of the things I did in the past, because I really do feel like I've moved past them. It's over, it's in the past, and so I don't like carry around the identity of the old things I did or like mistakes I've made. So definitely made mistakes, but I guess I would say for the most part I don't have a lot of regrets. This last one's a little savage. Someone said you never thought you would get married. Woof. Okay, well I'm actually really glad this person said this. I would say I did spend most of my life assuming I would get married. I didn't really feel worried about it. I always thought I would get married, and didn't feel like I needed to date a lot. Like after college, I was like totally not worried about it. I would say about 25, about halfway through 25, it started to creep in like, ooh, I feel ready for that. And I remember feeling like really upset about it after the race, like realizing that I hadn't dated all year, and was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't like invest in that area of my life at all. Obviously, like why would I? I don't know. I remember being really upset about it. And I did struggle a lot with it in the past couple of years, being a bit dissatisfied with my season. And then I did spend most of last year thinking that I was done waiting and that I would be getting married soon. But this is a good time to share that I am no longer in a relationship. I know that whoever asked this question was asking it thinking that I had a boyfriend and that maybe I would be getting married soon, but I don't have one anymore. But I do appreciate you asking the question, giving me the opportunity just to open up and share a little bit. If I know that for all of you guys who've been watching my videos for a while, that might be like shocking or unexpected, and honestly it was shocking and unexpected for me too. And I'm still like processing through it all. I would say now though, it's been a bit and I am starting to feel like it was a good decision. I mean, I'm not gonna really get into it now or maybe ever, but basically we just wanted different things. We had different opinions, we had different worldviews, and like we're passionate about different things. And it wasn't really working. I had to restart the camera so the angle changed a little bit. Sorry about that. But what I was saying was I did choose to put a lot of our relationship out there. I was pretty bold in that sense. And that's because I felt really, really confident in it, and it didn't work out. And so that is extremely hard. It is awkward. I know it's hard for me. I'm sure it might be like a little bit hard for you guys who followed along. But I mean, that is life. This is how life goes. This is what happens. It is a little more awkward to have it happen in front of a lot of people that watch. But I mean, maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe one of you is going through the same thing and now we're going through it together. You know, I'm not perfect. My life's not perfect. I definitely experience pain, and I am right now. But I am feeling pretty hopeful. I definitely think I'm going to be okay. I definitely learned a lot and I am hopeful. So to the person who asked that question, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be vulnerable. One of the ways I want to grow this year is I want to be more vulnerable and less surface level on the internet. I feel like I've shied away from that in the past like year or so, and I really want to just open up more. I also really just want to walk in more freedom in general across the board. I feel like with my last video I shared my goals, and I feel like they were kind of surface level because I only wanted to share the like fun, tangible things I plan to do this year. But that's because I'm super goal oriented and I'm such a doer that I only wrote down like the specific things that I knew I could accomplish in the year. And I didn't write down the more like ambiguous goals because I didn't think of those as like boxes to check per se. But I did want to share some of the ways I want to grow this year just while I'm here being vulnerable on camera. But yeah, I want to be more vulnerable online. I want to walk in more freedom this year, just care less about what people think, and make decisions just based out of what I want to do. Another way I want to grow this year is I want to share my faith more. I want to take more opportunities both online and offline in my daily life to share my faith more. And the last way I want to grow this year is I want to use my voice more often to speak up for women and to speak up for minorities and people of color. I also want to just continue to become more educated and to listen to their voices, to listen to them, to hear from them about their experience, the way they see the world, the way they experience the world. Listen to them, hear them, and then use my voice to just advocate for them, be their friend, speak up for them. So those are some of the ways I want to grow this year. This video was just a little bit a part of that. Thanks for asking the questions, or not questions, sending the assumptions. I hope you enjoyed this video, getting to know me a little bit more, seeing the truth about me. I'm a little more human than you thought maybe, or I don't know. If you have any more assumptions you want me to confirm or deny, put them down in the comments and I will definitely answer them if they're polite. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I will see you in the next video very soon. Bye!
And if you want it, come and get it, crying out loud. go.